A truly great TV theme song doesn't just open a show, it sets the tone, it tells a bit of the story, and sometimes it becomes more famous than the show itself. So these are our favorite TV theme songs from the 1970s. These are the unforgettable themes that made you sing along, made you feel something, maybe made you buy a record or two, but always made you super excited for the show to start. And some of these tracks have wild backstories. Would you believe that one was written by a 14-year-old? Or that another actually got the show renamed because it was just that good? But hold on, I think I hear our theme song starting, so let the show begin. The Brady Bunch. Here's the story of a tune that got stuck in your head for decades.
The story of a lovely lady who was bringing up three very lovely...
From the very first Here's the Story, you knew exactly what you were there for. Wholesome family chaos, sometimes matching outfits, and one really cool staircase. And before streaming made skip the intro a default option, this jingle was your welcome mat into the Technicolor world of the Bradys. The theme wasn't just a catchy jingle, it explained the entire premise of the show before the opening credits had even finished. It was like Cliff Notes for sitcoms.
They met this fellow, and they knew that it was much more than a hunt.
Written by Frank Duvall, who also scored My Three Sons, and the lyrics were done by show creator Sherwood Schwartz. It was pure earworm material. Musically, it's no symphonic masterpiece, it's basically a musical nursery rhyme. But that's the brilliance of it. The sing-songy structure and repetitive melody made it truly unforgettable. And like any good 70s jam, it evolved. The first season used studio singers, but by season 2, the actual Brady kids had taken over, and then it added a more homegrown charm that made it feel like your own family might start harmonizing in your living room.
Must somehow form a family. That's the way we all became the Brady Bunch.
And let's talk about cultural staying power. The theme song was a meme before memes existed. The 9-square opening sequence became so iconic it's now permanently welded into pop culture DNA. The Simpsons, Family Guy, Full House, even the X-Files have spoofed it. And now in the days of Zoom calls, no one can look at that checkerboard without saying, "Hey, we're in the Brady Bunch intro." It's more than a theme, it's TV's most melodic family tree diagram ever. The Jeffersons. If ever a theme song sounded like a full-on celebration, it's this one. Moving on up, it didn't just open the show, it kicked down the door with joy, confidence, and quite a bit of sass. Kinda like George Jefferson himself. That gospel-soaked groove, it made you feel like you were headed straight to that deluxe apartment in the sky. Performed by Janae Dubois, yep, Willona from Good Times, and composed by Jeff Barry and Janae herself, it blended gospel power with sitcom punch. It wasn't subtle, and that was the point. It demanded to be sung along with, and Dubois, she belted it out like her rent depended on it. It's just a terrific theme song, and it's still referenced constantly. It's used in commercials, it's sampled in music, and name-dropped by Jay-Z. And every time you hear "Fish don't fry in the kitchen," you can't help but start dancing. Admit it, you know the next line. All in the Family. Written by Charles Strouse and Lee Adams, the Broadway duo behind Bye Bye Birdie. The theme, Those Were the Days, is soaked in bittersweet nostalgia.
Because we had it made. Those were the days.
It is a love letter to a vanished America, or at least the idea of it, when girls were girls and men were men. Gas was cheap, and no one questioned Archie Bunker's worldview, at least in his head. The lyrics long for simpler times, even as the show itself gleefully ripped apart that very myth week after week. And here's a nugget of sitcom legend. Carol O'Connor and Gene Stapleton actually sang the theme song live at the beginning of each episode for the show's audience.
Girls were girls and men were men. Mister, we could use.
They did that for the first 5 seasons. I mean, it wasn't a recording, they literally performed it every time, complete with flubbed notes and that delightfully unpolished harmony. And that gave the show an almost theatrical feel, like a little overture before the chaos began. The contrast was perfect, a sweet little ditty that set you up for a sitcom that was anything but sweet. All in the Family tackled racism, sexism, homophobia, class struggles, you name it.
Guys like me, we had it made. Those were the days.
With Archie Bunker blustering at the center like a bigoted tornado in a cardigan. And yet somehow it still managed to be so funny, human, and occasionally even tender. The theme song became such a cultural landmark that it's now shorthand for outdated opinions and stubborn nostalgia. You know, someone ranting about how things used to be. You can practically hear the piano kick in.
Guys like us, we had it made.
TV critic Robert Bianco once called it, quote, the most honest 30 seconds in sitcom history, and I think he had a point. Those were the days. Didn't just introduce a TV show, it dared you to challenge everything it stood for, right after humming along.
And tomorrow I'll be crying, remembering you.
Welcome back, Kotter. It's not often a show gets named after its own theme song, but that's exactly what happened here.
Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about.
John Sebastian of The Lovin' Spoonful originally just wrote the song, but it was so good the producers changed the title of the show to match. Yeah, I know, that's the power of a really great chorus. You had the laid-back guitar, the soothing croon. I mean, this was a theme that hugged you. It wasn't just a welcome to Mr. Kotter. It was a welcome to the viewers who felt like they were kind of part of the Sweat Hogs crew.
We tease him a lot, 'cause we got him on the spot. Welcome back.
And let's face it, who didn't want to be pals with Vinnie Barbarino? Up your nose with a rubber hose. Ah, so cool. The single hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, and it still gets airplay on classic radio today. It's even sampled in some hip-hop tracks, because no matter how far you stray, a good tune will always welcome you back.
Welcome back to that same old place that you laughed about.
MASH. You might not know the title, but you definitely know the tune. It's haunting, it's weirdly peaceful, and it makes you think of helicopters landing in slow motion while Hawkeye throws out a snarky one-liner. The song is gentle and melancholic, a perfect contradiction for a show that balanced laughs with war-zone heartbreak. The original song actually does have lyrics, but pretty dark ones. Originally written for the 1970 MASH film, the song was composed by Johnny Mandel, with lyrics by a 14-year-old named Mike Altman. Yeah, the son of director Robert Altman, who allegedly made more money from the song's royalties than his dad made from directing the film. Nepotism? Maybe. Iconic? Definitely. For the TV version, producers wisely dropped the lyrics. It's kind of hard to segue into a laugh track after singing "The game of life is hard to play."
Game of life is hard to play. I'm gonna lose it.
What remained was that eerie, aching melody, a piece of music that sounded like the moment after a good cry. It didn't tell you the story, it told you the emotional weather forecast. And that was the genius of it. MASH was a show that mashed together slapstick comedy, anti-war commentary, and emotional gut punches. And the theme set that tone perfectly, peaceful but unsettling, like the calm before a storm. One TV critic said the show, quote, smuggled grief into primetime under the cover of comedy. And that theme song, it was the Trojan horse. No words, no plot summary, just 60 seconds of musical emotion that made you feel something before the first line was even spoken. Good times. Temporary layoffs, easy credit rip-offs, scratchin' and survivin'. I mean, that is the sound of the 70s struggle, and Good Times gave it a really funky anthem.
Good times, easy credit rip-offs. Good times, scratching it.
Somehow, despite all that realism, the theme still came out pretty hopeful and really toe-tapping. Written by Alan and Marilyn Bergman and Dave Grusson, it walked the line between pain and perseverance. And with that driving bass line and gospel-style vocals, it sounded like a church choir really found an awesome groove. And I mean, who hasn't argued whether they're singing Hanging in a Chow Line or Hanging in and Jivin'? The theme has really lived on in pop culture too. It was even sampled by Kanye West, which, I mean, some people like, I guess. I mean, listen to it, it still slaps today. If your toes don't tap, I guess check your pulse.
Making a way when you can.
Temporary layoffs.
Good time.
Laverne and Shirley. Give us any chance, we'll take it. And this theme, it took it. Laverne and Shirley's opening credits, complete with bottle capping montage, made you believe two working class gals could conquer the world.
We're gonna make our dreams come true. Doing it our way.
Performed by Cindy Greco, Making Our Dreams Come True is the kind of song that practically walks down the street in saddle shoes. Written by Norman Gimbel and Charles Fox, the duo behind Happy Days theme and Killing Me Softly, it's a peppy, toe-tapping anthem. It was pure optimism in musical form, and who could forget the Shklomil Shklomazel chant that always begged to be shouted along with.
Even we just know now. We're gonna make that dream come true.
And fun fact, it was actually something that Penny Marshall used to chant with her childhood friends while skipping rope. And when she brought it to set, it became one of TV's most beloved and baffling catchphrases. This theme song actually cracked the Billboard Top 30 in 1976, a rare feat for a sitcom theme. Fans bought the 45 not just because it was catchy, but because it meant something. It was the soundtrack to every underdog story, two women making their way with zero glamour and maximum grit.
A dream and we just know now. We're gonna make that dream come true.
And the show's girl power message has only aged better with time, making this one a pop culture icon for anyone who's ever shared a basement apartment with a dream. Three's Company. If Innuendo had a theme song, yeah, this would be it.
Come and knock on our door.
Come and knock on our door.
We've been waiting for you.
We've been waiting for you.
Come and knock on our door, promised sexy misunderstandings, short shorts, and a landlord who just didn't get it. It was bouncy, breezy, and a little bit cheeky. Hey, just like Jack Tripper. The theme was performed by, Ray Charles and Julia Rinker. Oh, not that Ray Charles. But still, it had an effortless lounge vibe that made it sound like a Vegas act in flip-flops.
Down in our rendezvous.
Down in our rendezvous. Three's Company too.
I think it felt inviting, which is the point, and mysterious, and those harmonies, well, they were smoother than Jack's pickup lines. The theme is still a reference point today, especially if you ever say, come and knock out loud in any room, at least one person will finish it. You know that's true. Happy Days. Sunday, Monday. Yeah, I don't even have to finish that for you to know what is about to begin.
These days are
This theme song was a complete mood, especially when paired with shots of Fonzie snapping his fingers and jukeboxes lighting up. Happy Days was pure TV comfort food, and its theme song was the cherry on top of the root beer float. In the show's earliest seasons, producers actually used Rock Around the Clock by Bill Haley and his Comets as the opening theme, a real deal 50s rock hit that helped set the tone.
Friday, happy days, the weekend comes, my cycle hums, ready to race.
But beginning in season 3, the show switched to the original composition. Happy Days, written by the powerhouse duo Norman Gimbel and Charles Fox, the same minds behind Laverne and Shirley. The Happy Days theme became more than just a song, more than just an intro. It was practically a national anthem for feel-good TV.
Saturday, what a day, grooving all week with you.
The Rockford Files. No lyrics, no problem. This theme didn't need words. It oozed cool from the first synth note. The second it kicked in, you knew this wasn't just another cop show. You were dealing with Jim Rockford, ex-con, PI. and the most charming guy to ever live in a mobile home. Composed by Mike Post and Pete Carpenter, the Rockford Files theme is a genre-blending groove machine. It fused jazz, funk, country twang, and that sweet, sweet analog synth into one of the smoothest intros in TV history. Think LA sunsets, car chases in slow-mo, and a private eye who could outwit you and charm your mom. That twangy guitar lick, pure swagger. That Moog synthesizer line, sci-fi slick. Altogether, it felt like a classic sly smirk from Rockford himself. The track was such a hit, it climbed to number 10 on the Billboard Hot 175. And Mike Post would go on to dominate the TV theme game. Law & Order, Magnum P.I., Hill Street Blues. I mean, geez. Maybe we need to make a round 2 of this video just for Mike Post. But this one was his breakout moment. It didn't just open the show, it set an entire vibe. A little gritty, a little jazzy, and totally irresistible. Sanford and Son. That funky, squawking guitar. That's your official heads up that Fred Sanford is about to clutch his chest, call out to Elizabeth, and serve up a world-class insult with a side of junkyard sass. The theme, officially titled The Street Beater, was composed by none other than Quincy Jones. Yeah, that Quincy Jones. The guy behind Michael Jackson's Thriller and countless jazz, soul, and film productions. And somehow, in just under a minute, he created a track that captured every dusty, hilarious, chaotic beat of Sanford and Son. This wasn't your typical sitcom ditty. It was a masterclass in 70s funk. Gritty bass lines, screaming horns, scratchy rhythm guitar, and that wah-wah pedal working overtime. It sounded less like TV music and more like something you'd hear blasting from a souped-up El Camino cruising down Crenshaw. Like Fred himself, the theme is bold, loud, and unmistakably Sanford and Son. It didn't just open the show, it funked the door wide open. Baretta. Hey, don't do the crime if you can't do the time, especially if you're humming this tune.
Don't do the crime if you can't do the time.
Which was sung by none other than Sammy Davis Jr. This dramatic, soulful opener perfectly matched Baretta's streetwise vibe. Picture a cockatoo on a shoulder and a detective with a heart of gold, and yeah, you're there. The song's jazzy, tension-filled rhythm mixed danger with cool, like a smoking lounge version of Justice. It was co-written by Dave Grusin, who co-wrote the Good Times theme, and Morgan Ames, but Sammy's unmistakable delivery had just made it unforgettable. You really believed he'd seen some stuff. And this theme is still a deep-cut favorite for theme song connoisseurs and soul music fans alike. And yes, the bird really was named Fred.
Keep your eye on the sparrow.
Charlie's Angels. You didn't need lyrics to know this theme meant business. The synths, urgent. The horns, glamorous. And the mood, spy chic. It was like disco meta-detective agency and decided to wear heels. Composed by Jack Elliott and Alan Ferguson, the track built tension with every beat, prepping you for Farrah Fawcett to do something impossibly cool with beautiful feathered hair. The narration over the music made it even better. Charlie's voice, forever mysterious, guiding his angels. Of course, this one still gets revived anytime someone wants to parody or honor powerful women in sleek pantsuits. It is the audio shorthand for fabulous and fearless and, well, feathered.
3 little girls who went to the police academy.
Taxi. Now, Taxi's theme kinda did the opposite of most. It just drifts in quietly, like a sigh after a long shift. From the first delicate notes of Bob James' electric piano, Angela wraps you in a kind of soft, jazz-soaked loneliness. It's not flashy, it's not funny, but it's unforgettable. Originally written for just a single episode, Angela wasn't even meant to be the show's theme. Composer Bob James, a jazz fusion legend, had written another track called Touchdown for the opening. But the producers heard Angela and instantly knew that was it. That was Taxi. The song doesn't just set a mood, it tells a story. You can practically feel the fluorescent buzz of the garage, the 3 a.m. diner lights, and the quiet desperation of New Yorkers trying to figure their lives out, 1 meter drop at a time. It mirrored the show's bittersweet tone perfectly, a sitcom that was not afraid to sit with its characters in the low moments between punchlines. Even if you can't name it, you know it, and somehow it manages to be both melancholic and comforting all at once. Like Danny DeVito's Louie yelling at you 1 minute and then quietly offering you a ride home the next. WKRP in Cincinnati. Man, radio was so cool back then, and WKRP made sure we felt that. Its theme song was soft rock gold, sung like a love letter to a fading dream.
In Cincinnati, WKRP.
And if you ever worked in media or knew someone who did, this song still hits home. The tune, written by Tom Wells and show creator Hugh Wilson, was warm and wistful, which I think is kind of surprising for a comedy about broadcast misfits and on-air disasters. It was less zany hijinks and more I still believe in this crazy world of radio. That soft hook pulled you in every single week.
You and me were never meant to be. Just maybe think of me once in a while.
And let's be honest, we all remember the Turkeys Away episode. It became one of the most referenced sitcom moments of all time. As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly. It's just really funny. And sad. It's sad too, I guess. But this theme song, it captured that spirit. It was quirky, it was heartfelt, and just a bit chaotic.
Baby, if you've ever wondered.
Different strokes. There's a world where everyone has a different stroke. In the late 70s, well, they were ready for it. That opening line, "Now the world don't move to the beat of just one drum," it perfectly captured what made Different Strokes so special.
World don't move to the beat of just one drum. What might be right for you?
Blended families, culture clashes, and one adorable "What you talking about, Willis?" Written by Alan Thicke. Yes, that Alan Thicke, Al Burton, and Gloria Loring. The theme song bounced along with cheerful piano, funky rhythm, and those backing vocals that made it feel like a mini musical. But it wasn't preachy, it was catchy.
Have theirs and you'll have yours and I'll have mine. And together we'll be fine.
Now the theme song's so giant that it's been parodied in everything from Family Guy to Saturday Night Live, and the show's influence is still felt today in sitcoms about unconventional families. Alan Thicke really was a theme song wizard, and a great TV dad. The Mary Tyler Moore Show. The second you hear those opening chords, you can practically feel the wind in your hair as Mary Richards tosses her iconic hat into the air.
Who can turn the world on with her smile?
Love is all around. It wasn't just a theme song, it was a lifeline for anyone navigating the ups and downs of independence, career, and finding your own place in the world. Written and performed by Sonny Curtis, the song started soft and sweet, mirroring Mary's early struggles as a single woman working at a TV newsroom.
Little movement you show, love is all around, no need to waste it.
But as the show went on, the song grew bolder, just like Mary herself, becoming a declaration of self-assurance. "You've got spunk," the song seemed to say, and that's a very good thing. Mary wasn't just a character, she was a role model for a generation of women learning to live and thrive on their own terms. One critic called The Mary Tyler Moore Show the first truly feminist sitcom, and the theme played a huge role in shaping that tone. The message was, no matter what the world throws at you, you can pick yourself up and get back in the game, and maybe even throw your hat in the air while you're at it. It wasn't just a theme song, it was a rallying cry for every woman and man finding their way in a changing world. The theme's legacy is still alive today. Hey, 30 Rock paid homage with a hilarious spoof. And countless fans have gotten teary-eyed hearing the tune, realizing it did shape how they view strength and independence. Mary Richards didn't just walk, she ran, and if she could make it, well, you could too. The streets of San Francisco. Now this theme grabs you by the collar with that jazzy brass and does not let go. It was gritty, classy, and dramatic, kind of like Dragnet getting a West Coast glow-up. You just knew you were settling in to watch Carl Malden and Michael Douglas chase someone across a foggy rooftop. The theme was composed by Pat Williams and had all the tension of a thriller score packed into 60 seconds. That rhythm section, suspenseful. The horns, heroic. I mean, this just wasn't a cop show, it was a stylish crime drama with brains. But no, you don't really hear it much anymore, but fans of the genre still speak of it with reverence. It's the sound of polyester suits, car chases, and trench coats catching the breeze on Lombard Street. The Andy Griffith Show. So, yeah, I know it started in the 60s, but in the 70s, this theme was still whistling its way through reruns every single day.
Andy Griffith Show, starring Andy Griffith, with Ronnie Howard.
That simple tune, written by Earl Hagen and Herbert Spencer, is the sound of lazy afternoons, front porch sittin', and a slower way of life. So who did that incredible, iconic whistling? Well, that was Hagen himself. He did it for the recording.
By the fishing hole, I can't think of a better way to pass the...
And the result? Well, it's pure Americana, I think. The melody is disarming and warm, and paired with Andy and Opie walking to the lake, it might just lower your blood pressure if you give it a watch. Of course, it's been parodied to death. It's been referenced in everything from The Simpsons to SNL, and it remains one of the most peaceful pieces of music ever tied to TV. Just hearing it today, it makes you want to go barefoot, walk to the lake, and maybe skip a rock or two.
And meet me at the fishing hole. I can't think of a better.
The greatest American hero. Yeah, I know, we're sneaking in this early 80s gem because, honestly, it feels like it belongs in the 70s, and it is one of the greatest theme songs of all time.
What's happened to me? I can't believe it myself.
The theme, sung by Joey Scarberry, was soaring, emotional, and just a bit cheesy, and we loved it. It was an anthem for anyone who ever felt like they didn't quite know what they were doing. Mike Post and Stephen Geyer created this masterpiece of earnest pop rock, and it hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. Yeah, a TV theme song charting like a hit single, and that's exactly what it was. I think the most famous use in pop culture was in Seinfeld, when George changed the lyrics to "Believe it or not, George isn't at home." I mean, face it, you all know what I'm talking about, because you all sing it every time someone says, "Believe it or not." Man, if that didn't bring back memories of shag carpet and aluminum TV trays, I just don't know what will. These weren't just songs, they were time machines. One strum or a whistle of a tune, it instantly takes you back to your parents' den. A bowl of cereal in hand and watching Jack Tripper trip over his own feet, or the Fonz make a jukebox obey his every whim. And whether the lyrics made you laugh, cry, or just hum along on your way to school, they sure stuck with you. Somewhere between the recesses of your memory and the dusty 8-track tapes in the attic. These were the top 20 theme songs of the 1970s. These themes still show up in commercials, parodies, and viral videos. They're still teaching younger generations what a real theme song sounds like. No auto-tune, no 5-second intro, just heart. A little humor, and a whole lot of harmony and jazz. And guess what? We're only getting started, because next time we're diving into the most unforgettable cartoon theme songs of all time. You know, the ones that made Saturday mornings so sacred. So, that's enough of me, but now we really need to hear from you, the fans. Did I miss a great TV theme song from the 1970s? Which one of the classics that I named is your personal favorite? Which one did you actually not like? Please get down in the comments and tell me all your thoughts and reflections of these great 70s theme songs and what they meant to your favorite programs. If you enjoyed the show, please hit that little thumbs up icon. It really helps our channel grow. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel so you never miss a trip down memory lane. But most importantly, from my entire team here at Do You Remember, we want to thank you so much for watching and have a wonderful day. Okay, roll the end credits.